Hey, I'm Mark. I'm a space princess. Welcome to my vlog.
My name is Frankenstein.
At night, we're dipping down to 64 with about 40 moons in the sky, so finish up board game night a little bit early and see if the kids remember where their beds are.
You're supposed to take me to SeaWorld. You promised me.
Well,
You said you were going to let me put one of the orcas down.
Okay.
I'm on the show!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the We Are Trash People Now video podcast. I believe, is Bitey still on the Twitch screen?
Yeah, Bitey's still on the Twitch screen. Let me fix that so you can see us.
We are currently streaming this live. We are recording it live. So if you are listening to the audio version of this, which currently everyone is, but some people are doing so live on Twitch, and now they can see our beautiful faces. Well, if you are in a situation where you are listening to this in a time after now, which is interesting because there is only now. And so you are essentially interacting with unreal figures coming through audio vibrations from the past, which isn't even real. So if you're in that situation, we apologize for any delays or strangeness you may experience because we are also streaming this live on Monday evening on Twitch. Join us. We have not figured out our technology to the point where we can assure you that we are going to be going on at 8 o'clock Western time.
This is 9:30 Western time. So we're technically on Tuesday on the East Coast.
Precisely. And so we will definitely keep people updated as that happens, but you can always tune in every Monday for the adventure of us figuring out, like, will they figure out what happens? Will the young heroine make her way out of the dark alley in Paris in the Champs-Elysees?
To give a sense of our technical difficulties, we straight up switched computers this week from our normal studio computer.
Yeah. And so we apologize for that, but we welcome you to my grandmother's basement where we are live, and we are here to talk about Matt Barats and Anthony Oberbeck, the upcoming hosts of Chris Gethard Presents.
Yes.
On MNN in New York City, the studio that I lied about helping with during an interview or like an audition to be a host on the San Francisco City College channel. It's like student videos.
We've been on screen there.
Yeah. So we'll see if that works out. Probably not. It seems cute. But yeah, we're talking about Matt Barats and Anthony Oberbeck, and this was fucking awesome.
I loved this episode. I love Reveries. Reveries is an amazing visual comedy album, and you have to do yourself a favor and check it out. It's so good.
Absolutely do.
So weird.
This will be episode 406, Reveries, based on presumably how long is Reveries currently? There is a video.
It's like about 45 minutes currently.
About 45 minutes of visual audio comedy poetry.
But they have performed it live before. And it's like a satire of the deep drifter who has... Oh. Really? They're not sure if they have no audio. Oh.
Gasp. So people may or may not have been hearing Forrest this entire time.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Can't hear me now.
Can't hear you now. Well, we're going to check it out. And while that happens, I'm going to vamp about the cast and crew that we know of for this show. Does that seem like the appropriate state of affairs?
Yeah.
My dear producer,
sure.
Who none of you can hear.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Sam. Thank you for letting us know, Sam and Dave McDougall.
Dave McDougall, about our audio problems. Once again, this is the bar for being on Chris Gethard's show, the show that has his name on it, his show's Twitch stream. The cast of this upcoming week, which will be November 11th, Anthony Oberbeck, of course. He was previously on episode 1 of CGP, The Great Night Show, as Carmen's Uncle Dean, and he works with Carmen a lot. He appeared on 2 episodes of the special without Brett Davis, Vic Loves Moose, and Funniest Home Videos, and Traffic School Prom. I don't think we watched any of those, did we?
No. Well, the America's Funniest Home Videos one has come up before because I think it was Nick Nanny I think he hosts the America's Funniest Home Videos, half of the show. And then also, I think Max Wittert was in some of the funniest home videos that were submitted for that episode. That was like the balloon prank.
Oh, hey. Very cool. He's also edited some of Carmen Christopher's videos, including Vito Hits Times Square. So a lot of the things that we talked about in Carmen's episodes, we ended up getting to rewatch.
Yeah.
Now looking for Anthony Oberbeck and Matt Barats, which was really fun.
Yeah, it was really cool getting to take another look at those, knowing so much more about everyone in it, because the first time it was like, oh, cool, Carmen, we love Carmen. And now this time it's, oh, everybody, we love all of them. They're all so great.
Yeah.
And then next on the episode will be Matt Barats, who was also on CGP episode 1, The Great Night Show, as one of the two people who jumped Carmen. And he was on Uncanceled as Crandall, who was part of Annie Donnelly's MRA comedy troupe. And he also appeared on 8 episodes of the special without Brett Davis, including A Dracula Christmas and Out of Control Teens. And we watched A Dracula Christmas. We'll talk about that some more later. And he also appeared on the lost 2016 Chris Gethard election special.
Ooh.
So mysterious.
We also have Ike Ufamadu. Ufamadu. There's no T in there. Ufamadu. He was previously on 3 CGP episodes, Taggart and Wittert Lawyers at Law, with Sam Taggart and Max Wittert, where he was Bailiff, the graduate of Bailiff U. He was also on Little Green Guys with Joe Rumrell and Andrew Tisher, where he serenaded us with a beautiful lounge song consisting of only ribbits. And also The Great Night Show with Carmen Christopher, where he was our commercial spokesman for meat, for salami.
And then we have Bardia Salemi, who previously appeared on 2 CGP episodes, Uncanceled with Annie Donnelly. He was one of the MRA comedy troupe. And The Great Night Show 3, where he was the clown prince of crime, the Joker, which he now thinks is funny because he's a clown.
Yeah. And I think that it was a beautiful rendition, honestly, of the Joker movie, which I saw. So you could just like watch, that episode of Chris Gethard Presents and not watch the Joker. The Joker is very nice, though. They gave a lot of money for set design to make a place look exactly like San Francisco.
I agree, Dave. Bardia is incredible, and I'm so excited to see Bardia again. And also, someone from the Joker was on Talkadoodle-Doo.
That's entirely true.
And then rounding out the cast, we have Alexandra Tatarsky, who seems to be new to CGP. And I always love when there's a new person who is part of a cast.
During their Discord Q&A, which I was not present for, Matt Anthony and Graham Mason, who directed and edited the original Reveries, talked about their inspirations for the project, which were apparently one of my favorite folks, the creator of the Red Curtains.
David Lynch.
Our favorite, excellently peacock-haired old man.
Yeah, his movie, The Cowboy and the Frenchman, which you can see on YouTube, was one of the inspirations for Reveries. And I see it. It's like a 15-minute thing. I totally see it. They also were both into Joe Frank, who was a surreal radio show creator from the 80s. They were both into him independently. Matt was into word jazz. Matt and Anthony wanted to do a weird audio thing, but wanted a visual element to play to YouTube. And so Reveries was born, and the visuals are such a key part of it that I can't imagine it without them. And then they also cite the Leningrad Cowboys movies by Aki Kaurismäki as a reference. And that's going to be in there. They also cited What's He Building by Tom Waits, which, yes, it's a lot of
I haven't heard that.
Thoughtful
Thoughts.
dialogue and thoughts over stills of like dilapidated houses and
Barry Squirrel and Getty.
what? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the Road.
Yeah.
Jack Kerouac.
Yes.
All those wonderful man books that I haven't read.
I read On the Road.
How do you feel about it?
It was on the road.
Mm.
I also read Grapes of Wrath. That was Steinbeck.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's not a road book, though.
No.
Anyway, there's no calls on this episode, as a heads up. This is what's something they said in the Discord Q&A, but there was that fun viewer participation with the Reveries challenge where you could send in a video of you putting on sunglasses. And I did. I sent one, and I sent a skull doing it. So I hope they use one or both of those.
The official snack of Reveries is cigarettes, black coffee, waffles from a cheap diner, and Werther's Originals.
And the official smell of Reveries is the smell of urinal cakes.
Wow.
So go get your Glade urinal cake plug-in, or just get a urinal cake. And
Do you think they make urinal cake plugins?
I hope. Maybe now
Like
they will.
specifically urinal cake?
Now they will.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, we, as always, with our new individuals to CGP, we talk about a number of things that we loved from them as we researched them. We have 10 things for each of these individuals today. And we'll start with Anthony Oberbeck. Anthony Oberbeck is a comedian in New York. In Chicago, he spent 3 years writing and performing in the Annoyance Theater's weekly sketch show, The Holy Fuck Comedy Hour. He was also a member of the critically acclaimed sketch and video collective Kill All Comedy and improvised on I.O. teams Hunter Family Crest, Stuntman CD-ROM, and Attica. Oh my gosh, I.O. The brainchild of
Del Close?
Del Close himself. Del Close, if there is any man who fits this stereotype of black coffee, cigarettes, being on the road and saying like absurdly deep things.
Yeah, that is Del Close to a T.
This is him doing heroin.
Oh boy.
He did a lot of heroin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
his
I.O. is
bio-
really cool. I.O. is really interesting. It's theater sports. It's all improv.
It's really
stuff.
cool. I wanna see some IO.
Yeah. In 2012, he was featured in the Just for Laughs showcase of solo performers, and in 2013, he returned to the Just for Laughs to perform a full sketch review created by Kill All Comedy. He doesn't like being startled, nor do I.
No, I'm not a fan of being startled either, Anthony.
Yeah.
And then our first highlight is Shoes, which is a video that was posted on February 22nd, 2016, and it features both Anthony's wonderful absurdity and a number of CGP folks, including Carmen Christopher himself.
And Andrew Tischer.
Yeah.
It's a really lovely, absurd piece. It reminded me of Josh Sharp's movies that he did with
Also, which was the UCB video production team.
Yeah. This is about a man in a business meeting who realizes he's not wearing his shoes.
He was when he came in.
Where are his shoes?
You'll have to watch the video to find out.
Everyone else is wearing their shoes.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like if Sartre had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Or Camus had a sense of humor. More Sartre.
Yeah, it's more Sartre, but I see that. I definitely see that. It's, yeah. Oh, if only they did.
Our second thing that we loved was a set that Anthony did at the Annoyance Theater in Chicago. This was released January 23rd, 2016. So quite like a little bit ago. And it's like this really experimental comedy bit.
It's him like talking super loud into a PA. He like changes clothes. Like you have to
It's
see
an experience.
It's an experience. I can only imagine how amazing it would have been in the room where you like feel the like vibrations of the PA, because it was like cranked loud.
What would you say was the general topic of his rantings?
What would you say?
I would say that I don't remember this one.
I remember this one, but I remember more of the he's jangling his keys. Like I remember more of the staging of it because it was so loud. It was like clipping and I couldn't always quite make out what was said, but it's worth seeing to see the general vibe of it.
And sort of the range of him as a performer, because a lot of his other performances are very restrained. It sits very much in that almost as stylized as a talk show host. Riley's video, Riley Solomon's video that he did with the Human Fish. What's his name?
David Bloveband?
Thank you. David Bloveband. We should say his name, I think.
David Bloveband?
Yeah, David Bloveband.
Yeah.
Instead of just human fish. I feel
No, we
bad.
We
that
should
it's
say that his
doing
name is
that.
David Bloveband.
But yeah, where like Riley is just like a very stone-faced, almost robotic talk show host figure. A lot of Anthony Oberbeck's characters are like that, including somewhat the Reveries characters.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that is one of the things that was so cool about that video is it's not tonally, it's so different from the Reveries character, but you can see how the same person would come up with both because they both have this like absurdity to them that's shared and is, I think, a hallmark of Anthony's comedy.
Yeah.
And that absurdity was on display with our third thing, In Your Area, which was posted September 12th, 2015. And it's basically, it's like a sad version of one of those late night TV ads where people are like posing seductively for sex
There
phone
are
lines.
singles in your area.
Hear the saddest crying in your area.
Someone is depressed and alone in your area.
And it's like him in front of a sunset and everything. It's just, it's so good. And like I've seen those things, those get parodied a decent amount, but he just brings this like unique spin to it that makes it really different and really good.
It's because I think he is a very writerly comedian.
Yeah.
We got to see in a lot of his sets, and in his sets were a lot of the things that ended up in Reveries. And this is over the course of years. So he was writing these things and refining them and refining them and refining them and refining them over a long period of time. He had these lines and these like little bits that like he just loved, that are beautiful, that are amazing, that ended up in Reveries and got to be like molded over that period of time. And you get to see a lot of his writing. It's very welcome to Night Vale.
Oh, yeah. And it was interesting seeing the same premise expressed in both Reveries and in a stand-up set because it's sometimes even the same words, but it's just so, the delivery is so different between those two characters. But speaking of Night Vale, our fourth thing is Your Local Weather, which is definitely very Night Vale and was posted March 17th, 2016 on the Ground Floor Comedy YouTube channel. And Anthony plays weatherman Steve Arp, who has to give his weather forecast for his area. And
you know, there's a lot of interesting things about the weather in his area, like the 17 moons.
40 moons.
Sorry, the 40 moons.
17 moons is pedestrian, but 40.
40
now
moons.
That's wild.
And other things. He plays with surrealism, and he plays with it in a way that's beyond magical realism. Like Josh Sharp's also videos, I would think, even though there was a puppet, it still felt more like just magical realism.
Yeah.
Because all the emotions were really grounded and stuff. And like Anthony's stuff is just another step into the absurd, into the surreal.
Yeah, I think that's a fair characterization. And there's like a banality to the surreal for the people in the world.
There's often one person who's experiencing it as strange and everyone else is experiencing it as normal, which is a really fun way into, those kinds of concepts, those kinds of shows. Or not shows. I don't know. I started thinking about Star Trek.
And a good showcase of that is actually our fifth thing, 7 Dreams, which is a video where he has multiple dreams. And in the first one, his partner is played by Eliza Hurwitz, who was Lizette in Enchanted Pumice 1 and 2 and was the host of the rival show to Little Green Guys about turtles and salamanders. And she plays his girlfriend, who you slowly get revealed is a sheriff. And by slowly over the course of the first scene, you realize she like gets her gun and pulls out her holster, and it's like blurry and out of focus, but it's unmistakably a holster.
And it's done in a really great dream way where like things aren't making sense. The perception of the things that are happening are very clear and obvious, but not visibly clear. They're not audibly clear. And I thought that was really cool. You see a lot of like, it was only a dream. But I think that they played a bit with how it was shot. Who shot this? Who was the director? As we look it up, another scene is him delivering a stand-up set in a movie theater through a fucking megaphone. Which
Anthony wrote and directed it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
fucking Anthony was doing the thing that was also supported by his writing.
That's multiple
so cool.
CGP people are in this one as well.
Whit Conway, who we
Whit
saw
Conway worked on it.
We see Whit Conway in almost every credits of anything we watch in New York.
And he did a lot of Carmen's stuff specifically as well. I think he even worked on I'm Killing It, I think.
Yeah.
And then Ike is in it as his therapist type of character. And it's great.
I want to just encourage every human who does stand up or has written a couple jokes, grab yourself a megaphone, go to a fucking movie theater, buy a ticket for a movie, and start delivering stand up in the front of the theater like you're warming them up for the movie.
Well, I like that because as you mentioned, in most of his videos, there's a character who is reacting as if the surreal things that are completely normal to Anthony's character are weird. And in this one, that's just people who were there to go see a movie.
Yeah, it was kind of reversed.
Yeah.
Whereas the whole crowd was like, this is an absurd thing. And he's like, no, I'm the stand-up for the movie. Like, this is obviously just a thing.
I also would legitimately prefer it if stand-up shows happen before movies.
Oh,
my God, amazing.
Right?
Especially comedies, but especially non-comedies, because that would be fun to see the comedians work it in to their set. But our next thing, number 6, is a Video Frogs video that Anthony is in, and it was posted on February 9th, 2016, and it is Video Frogs, Arter's Car.
And Video Frogs is just another collective?
It's a collective that did stuff for Comedy Crib.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's also another IFC Comedy Crib video. He's in a number of the Video Frogs things. A lot of the CGP people are in it. Anthony also wrote this for the Holy Fuck Comedy Hour at the Annoyance Theater, NYC.
This is amazing because it's Anthony Oberbeck. He is a frustrated car owner because his car has become the prime hookup spot for local teens. And one of them is played by Matt Barats.
Yes.
The other host.
And Alyssa of Check In with Alyssa and Three Busy Deborah's fame is also in it.
We checked in with her. She was in this awesome short as a teen who wanted to hook up in the back of his tiny car.
It's such a good video. And it's this like very small scale thing that manages to also just be so incredibly absurd.
And the focus is on how it disrupts his daily life. Like the focus isn't like, why are these teens attracted to this car? Like, this is such a strange X-Files thing. It's really annoying to try and get to work and there's just like a condom on the dashboard.
Yeah.
And like it makes it kind of tough like at night when I'm trying to sleep. Like I came out, like it's how it disrupts these small comforts, these little banalities. I suppose I call them comforts because in that way of like everyone thinks they want to go on an adventure, and then once they do, they realize they're Arthur Dent and like everything fucking sucks, and they are terrified the entire time. That's why I liked Farscape, because he goes to space and like gets PTSD.
Yeah, no, I mean, John Crichton is, I love that. That was one of the things I loved about Farscape as well.
And you know what else relates to space?
Is it our next thing?
It's our next thing. Mark, the Space Princess.
This is amazing.
This is a vlog-style video from June 23rd, 2016, in which Mark talks about the top 10 things he's learned about the planet Earth, because he is a space princess, and he came to planet Earth.
And this was also a video posted by Ground Floor Comedy.
There are 3 types of fish.
Yes.
That's the first thing you need to know. There's 3 types of fish. There's the fish in the ocean, there's the fish on the land, and then there's the fish that fly. And the fish that are on the land have to wear clothes. It's weird. It's
real weird. I mean, but we fish have to do what we got to do.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun shit like that. Again, this felt very writerly.
Well, and it was written by Anthony and J.W. Crump.
Oh.
And then directed
Crump.
by Thomas Francis. So,
J.W. Crump sounds like he should be a cartoonist of like some kind of underground thing, and then we look back at it in 60 years and like it's like the Keep on Truckin' guy.
Well, yeah, I mean that makes that. I would love it. I mean, Robert Crump.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that sounds right. Our number 8 thing is fun. Oh, the Space Princess one was directed by Thomas Francis.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Thomas Francis. Number 8, Danny is excited for the Pope's visit. This was September 25th, 2015. Shot and edited by Anthony Oberbeck. Written by Danny Groh and Anthony Oberbeck. I have a question about this Danny Groh human.
Go for it.
I went to school with a kid whose last name was Groh.
Oh, really?
And he had a brother, and I don't really remember his brother's name, but it might have been Dan.
What?
His little brother brought cocaine to prom and almost got us all shut down. Whatever. He was a nice kid. I went to all the way from kindergarten to high school graduation with him. We weren't friends, but he was nice enough. So we'll see. We're actually looking right now if Danny Groh is a human that I went to school with his little brother.
Nah. From Chicago.
Oh, he's from Chicago. Never mind. Never mind.
But Danny is amazing in this video. Yes. He has a Pope emoji t-shirt, which is a thing I didn't know existed until this video. And he knows he felt safe before because he knew if he ever got in trouble, the Pope would fly overhead and save him.
It's basically it's a bro character explaining why he's so excited for the Pope to be there. I could see Carmen Christopher doing this.
Yeah.
It had very his man on the street character vibes.
Yeah.
And he's just really excited because the Pope's coming. The Pope's always watching out for him. You never have to be worried because the Pope's there. The Pope will just fly in and save you. And it just ends on that. It's like it was a postcard from a weird alternate universe.
Yeah, but I think that gets to the key of one of the things we're highlighting with Anthony is that he does these very small scale mundane absurdities with character-based absurdities. And I think that's why it's so Welcome to Night Vale, because it's similar scale, both use character to ground it all, but in a way that's a little detached. It's not like a lot of the magical realism stuff really delves into the emotional conflict and everything.
But in a way that doesn't suck you into a drama.
Right.
Which is distinct from I suppose part of it is the size of the screen that we're seeing it on, but also I think in the amount of comedy that there is, because we've seen movies that involve a lot of magical realism.
Yeah.
And absurdity in ways that make you really anxious.
Yeah.
Like that movie about those super people that we saw at the Secret Film Festival.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
I'm looking
called?
to you for names.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool. But I think it's really interesting that there's that line between something that'll be frightening and something that won't. And I think it's just the amount of comedy. But speaking of comedy. Anthony was also in the Brooklyn Comedy Collective Industry Showcase, which was October 30th, 2018. So much sooner. And it's him doing stand-up. And it's really cool because you do get to see him not working through because he's polished all of this. It's presented. But you get to see his ideas presented in stand-up form, which is super interesting.
It's also worth checking out because you get to see a lot of other CGP people, like Scott Nelson, who was on Little Green Guys and was part of Comics Uncaged. You get Anthony. You get Millie Tamariz, who was in... I don't think she's been on CGP itself, but she was in Halloween Vacation and CEO Skyscraper and a lot of things with everyone else. Tommy McNamara, co-host of Sandwich Night, who's getting his own episode soon. John Wan, who was Kiko Soiree on $1 Billion Bonkies. Tim Platt, who hasn't been on CGP, but worked on Cartoon Monsoon with Joe Rumrill and Mary Houlihan. You have Maya Sharma, former co-host to Justin Linville on the CGP podcast, and who did stand-up on the Freak Fest episode.
This was when there was a CGP podcast with Chris Gethard himself, which no longer exists. We are currently the only Chris Gethard Presents podcast.
It is true. Rachel Cayley.
Yeah.
Who was on chemistry class. She was one of the comedians who went on a date and then was also on Uncanceled with Annie Donnelly as one of the MRA players. And then Bardia
Salemi, our favorite Joker, our favorite amazing basic ass immigrant kid comedy set with which still kills me.
And then
I love
Joey
Bardia.
Dundale, who was on the special a lot, and Devin Bachrath, who's been on CGP twice.
Oh, as what?
She played that teenager who knows that teens like boys in Fortnite.
In what episode?
I'm trying to remember that. She was Cassidy Bean on The Great Night Show.
Oh, hey!
I think it was episode 2 of The Great Night Show. And then was also on Uncanceled as the feminist who comes out at the end of the episode.
Oh, hey. Well, this showcase was co-directed by Annie Donnelly, comedy mom, I think, to many of these youths.
I think so.
That we are seeing. I don't know. Maybe she's a comedy aunt.
I don't know.
Well, someone get back to us on that. But if it's Papa Geth, I feel like
Aunt Annie.
Auntie Annie.
Auntie Annie.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Anthony does a set about his new PAC.
A PAC.
PAC?
A political action committee.
Headshots, his sheltered friends, yoga. A lot of really fun stuff. It's really fun to see his one-liners done in this fashion, and then also seeing them done in his more like pensive videos.
Yeah.
Absurdism, which is really fun. And
then the final thing is Aggressive Misinformation, which was posted August 2nd, 2016. And the video was written by and stars Anthony and Mac Edgerly as parodies of right-wing misinformation websites, complete with completely fake grievances.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's just a wild video. All the graphics are very cheesy. There's puns throughout it. There's in the 50s, America had no obesity, and now it has all obesity.
All obesity. No American has ever been on the
all
second
obesity.
floor.
Yeah, no one's gone upstairs,
building.
So we don't know what's upstairs. There could be a prowler or dust up there. We don't know. It's wild. They think Michelle Obama is Barack Obama's sister. There's all these weird conspiracy theories threaded throughout it that are never explained and said just as that conspiracy isn't even the thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
But we all know that this part's true, so we don't have to explain it. And it's just so good.
There's concern about these freaks with the bulbs where the nose would be and whiskers like a fancy cat. Long weird locks like a clown who also is royal, and some sort of glasses that are too dark to see through, and they're made of jade or some other magic rock. And they make all the rules.
It straight up sounds like a character who's in Cats.
I fucking love it.
I think it's a Jellicle cat.
And I love that kind of ranting when it gets into the fun, absurd fantasy things. And you're just like, what? What D&D are we playing?
Yeah, it's so good. And I mean, we loved all of Anthony's stuff, but now it's time to move on to Matt Barats, the other half of Reveries, starring a couple of cool dads.
Oh, yeah. So Matt Barats is a New York City writer and comedian via Chicago. He was part of the 2015 New Faces at Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal, a longtime cast member of the Holy Fuck Comedy Hour, co-creator of the play Sadie Hawkins Day, which was at SF Sketchfest.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. The comedy installation Reveries, which is cool that it's a comedy installation. I want to know what the installation means.
I love that description.
I love the idea of them taking this one thing and they're doing it in all the different media. And of course, in all the different media, we'll have different expressions of it, and there will be different depths. Like it's in the stand-up, it's in this video that we've seen, it's in a short video that we've seen, that of course is formatted a little differently.
Yeah, and then they've done it live, and we'll get to see them do it live on CGP, but it may even be a slightly different version than the pure live one, I would think.
He has contributed to The Onion and The New Yorker and has appeared in HBO's High Maintenance and TBS's The Last OG. His short film, Improv is Love, which we are going to profile, was recently a Vimeo staff pick. It would be my pick as well. He performs regularly at Union Hall and other venues throughout New York, and he was once fired from the Blue Man Group. That's pretty cool.
I love that he was fired. He brought that up again in the Discord today, so I think he may have actually been fired from the Blue Man Group. I don't think that's all a bit.
I mean, like, from seeing him perform.
They have both had a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
Go on the Discord and check it out. They have lived interesting lives.
I missed it. Oh, I always miss them. They're just like at a weird time for me. I want everything to change based on my availability.
It was 9 a.m. here.
That's fair.
That was pretty early.
That's fair. Well, I'm going through a thing. So the first thing that we want to profile from Matt Barats is 1940s Boxing Fan, which was released October 4th, 2017. And it's in the style of like someone talking over something over the visuals. He is a wrestling fan who just travels from wrestling venue to wrestling venue, and he never gets in.
Boxing.
Yeah,
he just can't ever get in because it's always sold out. The boxing venues are always sold out.
They're always sold out. He just has to have sex in the parking lot. What else is he supposed to do?
It's so good.
And it features Wes Haney, Gary Richardson, and John Reynolds of both CGP and all of these motherfuckers' friends.
And Stranger Things.
He
was also in Stranger Things.
He was in Stranger Things.
And then Wes Haney is the amnesic bartender from Enchanted Pumice 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary Richardson was Chef Benjamin Noodles on TCGS and was the celebrity guest on, I think it's on one of the Great Night shows.
Mm-hmm.
And John Reynolds was actually also on one of the Great Night shows. He was on the same one as Purple Hat.
Yeah.
And then our second video is Improv is Love, the Vimeo staff pick. It was posted August 4th, 2017, and it also features Wes Haney, as well as Bardia Salemi and Anna Fabrega. And in it, Matt's character's dad is in the hospital, and he can't make it because he has an improv cage match.
Yep. It's a cage match. It's like, it's a competition.
Yeah.
Dad, like, you got to understand. I mean, I'm doing what I love.
I'm doing what I love.
So
there's a dark streak to this video.
Obviously.
That I love. And it was shot by Whit Conway.
Yeah.
And
It's really great. It's you know what it's playing with, but it does it in a way that you don't expect, which is really awesome. So that was just really incredible to watch, and you should all watch it. That's like his thing, his short, and it is hilarious every second. It is shot very well.
I loved Improv is Love. I also loved our third thing, Video Frogs Sound Graffiti, which was posted March 15th, 2016. And in it, Matt plays like a charismatic, callous, manic artist who cares only about his art and doesn't care about like how it makes the people around him suffer.
Like his assistant, Joe Firestone.
Yes.
And what he does is he goes around the streets and captures noise. He's coming for Banksy.
Yeah.
Banksy thinks he has the capital on street art. Well, this guy's here for street art, and he yells whenever there's a sound. And I felt that in my bones. Like when I'm out there, when I hear a loud noise, I yelp. I just yell along with it. I don't know why. It comforts me.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I can verify that you do that.
Yeah. So this one is really great, and a lot of Matt's characters have a very manic, very self-assured streak. Like they think that they are the best, the smoothest, like the coolest, like overinflated egos and manic single-mindedness and cheerfulness.
Yeah,
often.
like if CGP was ever going to do like a version of The Mask or any Jim Carrey character, Matt Barats would be a perfect choice because he plays with like a similar archetype.
You'll just see his face.
Yeah.
His face does the things.
Yeah.
His face, it does them.
Yeah, it does all the Carrey flexibility and the weird faces. Yeah.
He's kind of built like a skull. It's great.
But I just, definitely watch that video as well as his multiple appearances on the special without Brett Davis, the forerunner in this time slot to CGP.
He's a recurring character.
He has recurring characters. He also plays some one-offs.
Yeah. So in 2015 is where we first see in Out of Control Teens. Matt plays Mr. Jokes' stepson, Wade. So that's Steve Whalen, the individual who, now that we're watching all of these episodes of the special, we get to see all of the time.
Yeah.
Loving the crowd. And that's beautiful. And we all his friends miss him dearly, as do people who just find him on the internet. And that's a lovely legacy.
And Wade is mad because, as you heard in the intro, Mr. Jokes told him that he'd get to put down one of the orcas at SeaWorld.
Yep. He just wants to kill an animal, like an orca.
Yeah. And he's like been experimenting on animals. Wade is a horrifying character who has very good air guitar work, which is because Matt Barats used to compete in the air guitar regional championships.
We used to work with a guy who competed in the air guitar championships, and holy shit, it's the coolest thing.
It's so cool. Like I love the air guitar championships so much. They get such it takes
so much confidence.
So much confidence and so much like, expressiveness with your body language and your face.
It's like you're dancing, but as a character.
Yeah, like I think it's a wonderful training ground for comedic anything.
Oh my God, yes.
So
physicality.
Yeah.
I'm going to play that game with my improv club.
It's a good idea.
It's a good idea. Thanks,
and in 2016, Matt Barats was on A Dracula Christmas.
Which we watched.
As
it's so good.
Frankenstein, the jilted ex of Olga, who was previously known as the Bride of Frankenstein and is played by Spike Einbinder.
Which is just amazing. Spike is incredible.
Spike kills it in this role.
Just fucking anytime Brett Davis plays Dracula, it brings me the most joy. Big Baby is Renfield, his like Igor
Darren
servant.
Maybe.
Gary Maybe?
Darren Maybe.
Is
Renfield, his Igor.
And he always has this look on his face like, oh no. Which I'm sure you can all understand audibly. It's like an air guitar championship, but I express verbally what I am feeling from the music.
And Matt plays Frankenstein as an obnoxious bully. So it's like him and Olga's new husband, who's a human named Jeff and is played by Colin Burgess. They very much have that like Biff George McFly dynamic.
Oh yeah, he's a huge bully. He's a comedian of really like hacky jokes.
Yeah, there's a lot of Borscht Belt comedy coming from Frankenstein. In
a lot of physicalized, like shaking his head around and being. It's really great.
And we're not going to say what the ending is, but definitely watch that episode because the ending is perfect.
Yes.
And then Matt also starred in the episode Acting alongside fellow CGP host Josh Sharp, as well as Mo Fry Pasek, who played the stenographer on Taggart and Witter Lawyers at Law, and the National Lampoon Radio Hour's Aaron Jackson.
And so this is an excellent episode. We talked about it with Josh Sharp. It's about a group of students dealing with an enthusiastic imperious drama teacher.
Yeah.
And what happens when a football coach gets thrown into the mix.
And Matt plays the quarterback or whatever, who is just really mad that the acting class is like hogging this room because they have to do practice.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be lacrosse. I don't know. One of those sports I didn't play, which is most of them. And in 2017, Matt returned as Wade on episode 100 of the special, and Annie Donnelly played another wild joke stepkid named Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the one. This might be the one where he talks about how the reason he dresses like that is because the only movies he's seen are Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro. And he's wearing like a black trench coat
and shorts,
like cargo shorts
and like
goggles on his head. It's just so good.
It's like an anime character.
And then in 2017 on episode 109, Matt Pinfield, Wade is mad at him because Mr. Joke should be looking out for his mom. And then Wade gets into a fight with Mr. Joke's #1 fan, Tommy.
Yeah. Who he would love to have Mr. Jokes as a dad.
Yeah.
Wade should be grateful. Wade should be grateful.
I mean, Wade should be grateful.
But he plays petulant incredibly at all ages.
Yeah, no, Matt Barats is very good at playing petulant weirdos.
Speaking of, we have, oh my God, this is such a good episode of this web series. There's 6 episodes of it. It's in New York. There's probably other CGP people in other episodes, but we only watched 2, and Matt was only in 1. Jana and Shasta, lost episode. No, I missed.
You're thinking
I
of something
jumped
later.
ahead.
But Jana and Shasta is next. And on this one, which was posted January 21st, 2016, Matt plays the guide on a daytime ghost tour.
This is a one-off.
This is a one-off. It's starring Ryan Bennett and Anna Fabrega, and the tour guests included Joe Rumrill. And Matt plays a tour guide who is taking them all around New York, and, you know, things aren't necessarily what they seem.
No, there's very important spots like his house, his buddy's house.
Yeah.
Who he's just gonna go inside for just a minute. And yeah, it's really cute. It's really fun seeing Joe Rumrill play a different kind of character than like the, you know, sweet good boy that we have seen him play.
And then our seventh thing is Family is Stinks episode 6, which was posted April 4th, 2019.
This is what I was talking about.
Oh,
Family is Stinks is a 6-episode long web series. There's 2 web series that he appears in one episode of.
Well, there's 3
I
think,
that we talk about. Oh my gosh. Well, Family is Stinks is amazing. It's a family and it's very Tom Stoppard-like, where they're sort of describing each other in the situations that they're in.
Oh, that's a good
non-specifically.
That's a really good comparison. Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Stoppard being a playwright who was, I don't know, really full of himself and wrote amazing plays. Like, you had to be super full of yourself to write plays the way that he did. So just imagine that.
And in it, Matt plays boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who's going on a date with Rach, played by Rachel Cayley.
Who is daughter.
No, she's Rach.
Oh, yeah.
She actually has a name. But boyfriend is boyfriend and never identifies himself as anything other than boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's really good. Check it out. Our 8th thing is Boy Band, which is an IFC comedy crib web series that was posted on March 22nd, 2016. And Matt plays PJ, the talent scout for a boy band. And the other members of the entourage who make up the main cast include Brett Davis, Anna Dresden, Colin Burgess, Anna Fabrega, Joe Firestone, and Darren Maybe.
Who's Big Baby?
And in episode 1, PJ tries to awkwardly bond with the teens who want to join the boy band and like prove he's cool still. And in episode 5, it's party time. But unfortunately, a teen died, so Sandra can't join the fun.
Yeah. The whole series is really fun.
And we're going to have a link to the playlist that has all of them. And definitely watch it all. It's very good. We talked about another episode on another podcast because...
Another episode of this podcast.
Yeah, another episode of this podcast. We talked about another episode of Boy Band.
I think it's Annie Donnelly.
I think Annie Donnelly was in it, yeah.
Yeah. This next one is another web series, which was actually the one that I was originally talking about.
This is the one I thought. That's why I say weirdos.
6 episodes or 7 episodes. It is called Where the Magic Happens.
The episode is Where the Magic Happens.
And this is from the web series We Have to Move Out, which chronicles the trials and tribulations of a couple who really need to move the fuck out of their apartment.
And this episode was posted May 6th, 2015.
It's really good. The whole thing is really good.
This is another example of his physicality.
They go to an apartment to check it out, and it's entirely perfect except for one thing. They would be roommates with Sorcio, who is a magician.
And he uses the magic tricks to like try to win them over to become roommates.
Like, he never drops the act.
No.
Like, he is a magician 100% of the time. And he is hilarious. There is magical realism in the sort of absurd, like, shocking way.
And Matt like masters the hand gestures, the big persona of the magician so well.
It's beautiful.
And then the final Matt thing we're going to talk about is Father's Day, which was posted on June 21st, 2015.
And we talked about it in Carmen's episode.
We did. And it's great. Definitely watch this one as well if you didn't watch it the first time, especially. In it, Carmen is the world's first pregnant man, and Matt is his baby daddy, Kenneth. And John Reynolds is the delivery man in so many different meanings. Yeah.
To deliver, and then he helps deliver the baby. There's a lot of really fun slapstick, which was perfect for Matt.
This is where
throwing his coat to a hanger and it like lands perfectly on the hanger, and then realizing he has to leave, so he like reaches out and it just reverses the footage.
This is where I saw the Jim Carrey comparison at first because the way he can mug at the camera and do like he has a phone that he just like mugs with it, and it's a great example of his elastic face.
Oh, yeah. And it's just really fun. It's fun to see John Reynolds and Carmen Christopher just having the most fun.
Oh, yeah. This seems like it had to have been the best shoot.
So now we're going to talk about some things that both of them have been in together. They're better together, the way that they will appear to us this Wednesday. So the first one is a comedy crib video called The Annoyance Casting. I think probably because it was with the Annoyance Theater.
Yeah, it was posted because the Comedy Crib had a series of videos by the Annoyance.
And so they're both auditioning for the role of Luke in a commercial and trying to master the catchphrase, "Don't put that there."
Don't put that there.
And it's, of course, a lineup of like 4 identical looking dudes because they're all, there for the same casting. And they're trying the like different reads. And it goes into that absurd space.
Yeah, it gets really absurd.
Like in this like fight about like line readings, and it's really awesome watching them interact together.
Yeah.
They both have that absurd energy, and it's really interesting seeing them in a role where they're supposed to look exactly the same and being like, they look so similar.
Yeah, because like I hadn't noticed it because they all like in Reveries. They're
Different
both
hair.
drifter dads, but they bring a different energy, like a slightly the characters are distinct. But in this, they play similar dudes, and they pull it off wonderfully.
They do.
And then the next 2 are both 2 different forms of Reveries. The first, there's an original sample, which is about 3 minutes long, and then there's the full shebang. The short one was posted March 12th, 2017. The full one was posted September 14th, 2018.
They're beautiful. They're both
yeah.
gorgeous. They're both just like beautiful works of surrealist fiction, which manages to be extremely funny while taking itself extremely seriously.
And it's cool because some of the same lines are in both the short version and the long version, but the footage is not always the same. And it's
the order is different.
Yeah.
And that gives it a different feeling and a different meaning.
Yeah.
And just having the different shots there, like there's my favorite part of the Reveries full is Matt and Anthony are walking up to these 2 other guys who are like the opposites of him. Like one of them, Matt is smoking a cigarette and Anthony is drinking a cup of coffee. And the other 2 dudes, one of whom is Bardia.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point out is that Bardia is one of them.
Bardia is drinking a Red Bull and the other guy is smoking a vape. So it's like, whoa, and they're like in their like drifter suits and the other guys are in like business suits and they just walk up to each other and they just face each other and then like walk away.
Well, there's a line about seeing your opposite.
Yeah. And I was like, I couldn't tear my eyes away from this moment. I was like, kill your double. Like, oh my God, they're like opposites, but it's in this way. And like, what is the meaning of like, is it technology? Is it the changing times? Is it our values? Like, what is going on here? And I loved it. And I want to see it again and again and again and read way more into it than anyone has ever even, that they even probably thought when they were putting in. But that's the beauty of these things is I can read whatever the fuck I want into it. The author is dead. And I'm so excited to see more of these authors.
And we will absolutely watch Reveries over and over again in the years to come, for sure.
It is so David Lynch. This is where we really see the David Lynch in the filming.
Yeah, I freaked out.
The types of shots.
I freaked out when they said that David Lynch was one of the inspirations because I so got the Lynchian sensibility from it.
We were talking about it.
Yeah, like we had noted it immediately. And it was like one of those things where we say things are Lynchian a lot, but like this is very specifically Lynchian, not just weird like David Lynch. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy to see.
Yeah. So it was really fun. And it was, of course, who filmed it?
That was Graham.
Graham.
That was Graham Mason, who was on the CGP Q&A earlier today.
Fuck yeah.
And
helped write
helped with the visual elements of it. Like they wrote the lines
Graham.
And then helped really like come up with the visual sensibility and stuff.
Graham.
And you'll learn to be grateful to San Francisco in this. I won't say more than that, but you'll learn to be grateful to San Francisco in Reveries.
I want to see more things Graham has done.
I mean, it
sounds weird and cool as shit.
Reveries is on his Vimeo, so you can do that.
Okay. As long as that's a possibility, as long as I have connection to the internet and can do so.
Yes.
Because we're all stuck inside now because of plague. And we're in San Francisco where there is plague But you know what joyful thing we have?
CGP.
We have an internet comedy show that we get to go to every week, and then we get the back alley behind that comedy show, all digitally, all from home. It is accessible to both people who are in quarantine, people who are in excessive amounts of back pain right now and cannot walk very far.
And Discord won't give you coronavirus.
It will not give you coronavirus. You will be absolutely fine. I love modern technology, and I think it's so beautiful that we all get to share this art together. Comedy specifically is such a subjective art.
Yeah.
I think for small audiences to be experienced with other people.
I agree.
It can be experienced in other ways. Those are great, but this is also a really excellent, beautiful way to experience it.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that Chris Gethard has created a space for that to happen. I also want to thank Uncle B for keeping all that shit up as we talk up this internet community. We should probably thank Uncle B.
Oh yeah,
Bryson,
we love Uncle B.
who
Bryson.
maintains the community.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle B.
And sets it up. So yeah. That was our take on Matt Barats and Anthony Oberbeck. Thank you all so much for bearing with us. If you were here with us on the Twitch, I want to thank you,
Thank you so much, Sam.
Sam has been here the whole time.
And Miel was here for a lot of it. Dave McDougal was here for a lot of it, but had to go to bed. So thank you all for
Kyle was here.
And Kyle was here. Thank you. Eric Germ was here.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone who
stayed up super late.
Who bared with our technical difficulties.
Yeah, we want to see stuff from all of you. We're so excited to talk to you on the after show, and we are working towards making it so that people can call in.
Oh yeah, we do want to make it so people can call in to us and talk about some of the things they've loved from what they've seen from the comedians or just what they're excited about for the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Redactyl.
And Redactyl's here too. Hi, Redactyl. We love all of you so exceptionally dearly. We're so excited to experience this weird bullshit with you. I'm so excited for this weird bullshit.
Oh, me too.
Feed me the weird art house bullshit. Feed it to me. Feed it to my eye holes.
I mean,
it will cure me. Comedy is the only cure for sciatic pain.
Thank you, Chris Gethard, for feeding my eye holes, for making a space where my eye holes can be fed with this weird comedy.
Thank you so much. And thank you again to the people who bared with us. We will see you all on the internet.
See you on the internet.
Good night and good clawn.
Good night and good clawn.
I hurt animals.
Well,
I experiment with them. I run body swaps on them.
You're bragging about this.
Yeah, I'm bragging about it because I can take a frog's eyes and put it on a butterfly. I got dogs walking around with spider legs. I mix and match and jump up and catch.
That I'm not saying it's not impressive, but you're not.
Bum bum rise. Bum 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 rise.
You're not God.